When you think about van life with your dog, you might think about hikes, cozy nights, and slow mornings. But I quickly realized that I had to be much more intentional than that. Hi, my name is Kristi, and welcome to the channel. I am traveling in my converted Sprinter van with my dog Sammy, and today we're going to talk about all the things that we do to make van life with the dog possible. The first thing I really focused on to help us both prepare for van life was the preparation phase. And that was really two key components. First is training, helping your dog know basic commands and skills and rely on you as their owner will be really important. In van life, you just can't control every situation, and that will help your dog feel really comfortable in those unknown circumstances, especially when there's lots of other dogs and people around. The other thing that's really important is helping your dog acclimate to their new home on wheels, which a van really is. So we did a few key things. First, I took him for lots of rides in the new van to make him feel comfortable with long driving days. The other things we did were overnight camping and weekend camping to make him feel comfortable sleeping in the van. This all helped him transition slowly, but really smoothly. The next important thing that we do every day is exercise. We go on hikes and we go on walks multiple times a day. Sammy is an Australian Shepherd and he's almost 4 years old, which means not only does he need a lot of exercise, but he needs a lot of mental stimulation. Getting him outside, allowing him to sniff the surroundings, important for him to get out his energy and then relax in the van later on. If we don't do this, he gets a little bit stir crazy. Depending on your type of dog breed and the age of your dog, exercise and outdoor time could be a really important component that you really need to factor in. The next consideration is where to sleep every night. And I try to keep this simple. If it's just one night, I don't worry about it too much. But if I am gonna be staying in one place for multiple nights, then there's a few things that I try to keep in mind. One, the noise levels. For both of our sakes, really. I don't want him constantly on alert, or myself. The other thing I keep in mind, especially in warmer climates, is shade. And then the last thing relates to exercise that I talked about earlier. I always want to make sure that there are places or trails for me to walk Sammy. One of the biggest struggles in van life is honestly how to keep everything clean. Between muddy paws, sand, and honestly pet hair, it's a daily battle. So there's a few things that I do to try to let this not take over my life. One, I keep pet or wet wipes on hand in my van at all times. Every time we go on hikes or walks, I always wipe off Sammy's paws to make sure that he doesn't track mud or dirt into the bedding or all over the van. I also have a brush and some dog safe dry shampoo for him in the van to help him stay clean in between full baths. And then the last thing is I also have a broom and dustpan and a dust buster. I think the dust buster was probably the best purchase I made because it really gets all of his hair out of all of the nooks and crevices in the front seat area and in the living space. The next important component for your dog feeling comfortable in the van is helping them have a zone in your van. Now, when I first started out, I tried putting a dog bed underneath the fixed bed and kind of making that a little den for him, but he didn't really take to it. So we adapted, and for the most part, he really loves laying on top of the bed. If you've seen my other videos, you'll notice he's always laying on the bed, and this is where he just really likes to lay with me at night as well. I got this blanket for him, and then I also have his dog toys here. This is kind of his calm, where he naps, where he sleeps. And then we also have a window in the bed area, and he loves to look out that window or lay in the sun if the sun is coming in that side of the van. Wherever that fits in your van, just make sure that your dog or pet has a safe place and kind of a zone for them. Okay, so now we're on to the last thing that we are gonna do to make sure that Sammy is safe and comfortable in the van. And that is monitoring him when he's alone. As much as I try not to leave him alone, it is going to be unavoidable. So I have made 2 new purchases. I just want to clarify before we start, the video is not sponsored. I did purchase this with my own money to try out and to share with you all. The first thing I bought was the Waggle Cam Mini. Now this is a camera that I can use to monitor Sammy from my phone. This is Wi-Fi enabled only, so I will need to have my Starlink Mini on in order to use this. And then also from Waggle, I got this temperature control monitor, and this will send me alerts directly to my phone if the temperature in the van starts to increase. Now I'm going to test this out. I do have to download an app to my phone. The temperature monitor is 4G or Wi-Fi enabled as well. Okay, I've got the app downloading now, so let's go ahead and get into these boxes. In the box, we have the camera. We've got the charging cord. And then there is a wall plate with some screws and anchors in here as well. The other thing that they've included is essentially a quick start guide to help you get going. So let's go ahead and open up the other box here, which is the temperature control monitor. The temperature control monitor is in the box as well with a cord. On the back, there is 3M adhesive tape so that you can plug it into the wall. It also comes with this cute sticker that says that there is pet temperature monitoring installed. So actually I may consider installing this on either my driver or my passenger side window, just so that anyone who comes up to the van will know that Sammy is safe in here. Okay, I just finished the setup process for both the camera and the temperature monitor. Now, in full disclosure, there is a monthly monitoring fee that you would need to factor in to the cost of using this system in your van. So I have the temperature alerts on right now. What it shows me is the temperature in the van, the humidity, what the temperature actually feels like, alerts that I want to have set, and reports that I can run. I was able to also put in my pet information, how old Sammy is, what type of breed he is, and then what type of RV specifically I'm traveling in, so that the monitor is set up for my circumstance. So here is what the monitor looks like. Okay, so now we're going to take a look at the camera itself. I've got the camera set up here, and you can see here from my phone, I can monitor what the camera's looking at. There's also little controls at the bottom that will allow me to remotely move the camera around, which is great. There are both sound and motion alerts. So this will give me just some peace of mind that I can look and see what's going on in the van, move the camera around if it's not sensing Sammy to see where he is. I still have to figure out where I want to install this in the van, and I can always add a second one if I want to get a vantage point from multiple places in the van. So I'm going to go ahead and give this a try, mount up the temperature sensor, mount up the camera, and I'll keep you guys all updated on how this ends up working. But I think this is a great first start to making me feel a little bit more comfortable traveling with Sammy and leaving him alone periodically. As I close out this video, I just want to say that van life with a dog isn't necessarily harder, but you do have to be more intentional and think about some things a little bit differently. It's something that I wouldn't want to do without him. I love him so much, and he's been my companion for the last 4 years. Thanks so much for joining us on these travels and joining us in this video. Appreciate everyone who has liked the videos and subscribed to the channel. Look forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye.